Hi everyone, it's great to be in Chicago with you virtually today. I'm going to chat to you about engaging audiences through Twitter inside and outside of venues. The simplest definition of a tweet seat I have come across is that by Ben Schott of the New York Times, theatre seats reserved for Twitter users. Strictly speaking, the concept of tweet seats refers to seats that Twitter users tweet from live during a performance, like those offered in Milwaukee Chamber Theatre's Tweet Seat Night last week for a dedicated performance of The Lion in winter. However, the term has been more broadly used to refer to tickets for Twitter users who tweet before or after each act, or tickets available to win on Twitter. It's not just arts organisations using tweet seats. A search on the hashtag tweet seats on Twitter brings up a range of tweeters using and offering tweet seats, for example in the sports, pop or travel industries, including Virgin Blue. Why are arts organisations so hot on tweet seats? On average, Twitter users are older, more mobile and far more engaged than other social media users such as Facebookers. As well as being engaged and active, many Twitter users are influencers, opinion leaders and commentators. The very nature of the 140 character limit means the best and most followed on Twitter are the most creative. As such, Twitter users are a natural fit for the arts, hot prospects for becoming and reaching new arts audiences. According to this useful little infographic by Digital Surgeons, around 27% of Twitter users are aged 35 to 44, compared with just 18% of Facebook users, and 82% update their status at least every day, compared with only 12% of Facebook users. Tweet seats are not the same as a tweet-up, although the two often work in tandem. A tweet-up is an organised or impromptu gathering of people that use Twitter. A tweet-up does not automatically assume live tweeting. Tweet seats have sparked some difference of opinion and debate over the last year or so. To tweet or not to tweet is certainly the question. Returning to the precise meaning of a tweet seat, we are talking about a situation where an audience member is being given permission to have their cell phone on and use it during a live arts performance. Even if this is during a dedicated performance or in a dedicated and discreet seating area, to some purists, whether artists or audience members, the risk of compromised audience attention levels and distraction to others in the house can appear high. Unsurprisingly, this has led to two opposing camps on the issue of tweet seats. Those who oppose tweet seats believe that audiences should give performers their undivided attention and performers should be protected from audience distraction, and that those who are live tweeting can have their experience compromised. And tweeters should frankly be able to control themselves until interval. Here's an example of someone who is in the not to tweet camp. In an article about the National Symphony Orchestra's experiments with tweeting program notes from the conductor to the audience, Washington Post staff writer Ann Midgett makes the point that the moaning tends to grow louder the less the moaner understands the technology in question. It seems that educating and reassuring the core audience that tweeting is not going to negatively impact their experience and then taking pains to ensure that it doesn't is key to getting them on side. West Yorkshire Playhouse in Leeds, UK actually withdrew their promised tweet seats following negative comments from the audience who they had invited feedback from. Those who support the idea of tweet seats say that audiences are always distracted by something or another, so it may as well be tweets, and that tweets provide useful peer-to-peer reviews, and enabling tweeters to express themselves harnesses their enthusiasm, and in the right context, tweeting is appropriate. Here's an example of someone from the to tweet side of the fence. The tweet seats debate suggests that this is a black and white issue, that tweet seats are about either everyone or absolutely no one in the audience freely able to use their cell phones and tweet to their heart's delight. But in practice, engaging with arts audiences via Twitter can take place in a number of ways. Focusing only on tweet seats can limit our thinking about how Twitter can be effectively utilised to engage arts audiences in order to achieve organisational goals. In fact, I have counted no fewer than 9 key ways that arts organisations are currently using Twitter for this purpose. I have no doubt that there are more. Tweet seats in their purest sense comprise only one of these. So here are some of those that I have found. The first is at a low level of commitment, providing entry points and rewards to Twitter followers. So for example, the Woolly Mammoth Theatre Company offering pay what you can tickets to their Twitter followers, and Avenue Q's Tweet for Seats prizes offered to their Twitter and Facebook followers. Tweet-ups by invitation only or open to all are a way to capitalise on influencers and encourage them via an in-person meeting with incentives such as tickets and drinks. And engaging with audience-led Twitter conversations is about keeping abreast of existing discussions and trending topics that may have relevance to you. Last year, Opera Australia recognised a hashtag being created by two influencers for their production Bliss and decided to support this by running a competition to all others who use the hashtag. Some organisations provide a platform for an invited commentator. An example is when Darren King, the arts editor of Time Out in Sydney, live tweeted from the wings and pit of the Sydney production of West Side Story. Then we have, of course, tweet seats, and then some organisations are delivering performance information via Twitter. The National Symphony Orchestra example illustrates this. They are offering interpretive content via Twitter from their conductor, most recently at their concerts at Wolf Trap. Lyric Opera of Chicago have also done the same thing during HMS Pinafore. Delivering aspects of the art form via Twitter can be seen in the example of Royal Shakespeare Company's Such Tweet Sorrow, which launched in April, and it updated Romeo and Juliet by enabling it to be acted out on Twitter between the characters who each had their own Twitter feed. Some involve the audience in the creation of work. We've all heard of the Royal Opera House's The Twitter Opera, which crowdsourced the libretto for a new people's opera. And audience tweets at the highest level can be part of the performance influencing their direction. I decided to map these options on a matrix to see where they each sat in terms of the commitment and effort required by the organisation and the audience, and whether there were particular groupings. What emerged for me was that there is a clear range of options for using Twitter for audience engagement, open to each arts organisation, depending on the capacity of both the organisation and the audience. So what are organisations achieving from entering the tweet seat space? The key benefits appear to be around reach, word of mouth and peer-to-peer review that effective use of the Twitter space can provide. This month the Royal Opera House sent out an invitation on Twitter for volunteers to help live tweet the Royal Ballet's premiere of Alice in Wonderland. It was a performance at which the distractions of technology had already been accepted by the audience because it was being recorded for television by BBC Two. What the Royal Ballet achieved was extensive reach into potential new audience segments. An analysis on tweet reach shows that the most recent 50 tweets, the maximum that tweet reach measures, using their hashtag, received reach to over 26,000 people. What's important is that reach of tweets goes far beyond those who can actually attend. So in the instance of the National Symphony performing at Wolf Trap, the tweeted insights reached not just the audience who attended, but anyone who chose to follow the hashtag. Opera Australia have found the immediacy of Twitter word of mouth to be providing them with particular value in the context of their short seasons. In a previous role, I headed up online marketing at The Edge, a group of performing arts venues in Auckland, New Zealand. There, via a program of tweet-ups at arts performances, we experienced the tangible benefits of Twitter engagement firsthand. A Stomp tweet-up had a lasting impact where 15 Twitter bloggers with large followings and influence were invited to a performance of the percussion show Stomp, with drinks and networking during which they could discuss social networking with their influential peers prior to the performance. What happened as a result was that each of them tweeted before the performance, at interval, following the performance, and the morning after, resulting in extensive word of mouth. They continue to be invited to tweet-ups, to performances of increasing level of difficulty, including a contemporary ballet triple bill. And they became an influential community of supporters around the Edge. It is understandable that organisations, performers and audiences feel nervous about the potential interruptions and distractions to the live performance that tweet seats can potentially cause. But in no instance should tweet seat activity be employed out of context of an organisation's overarching strategy and without respect for its artists and existing committed audience. Tweet seats should never be used just for the sake of it or for the novelty value. Instead, it's about finding relevant ways to use Twitter that support your organisation's missions and goals. and that support and work for the particular art form and performance type. Only the individual organisation can assess the options and risk and make the right decisions with clear knowledge of their existing and desired audiences. There's no black and white, just a grey area that needs to be cleverly and strategically negotiated in consultation with our artists and audiences. West Yorkshire Playhouse went about it the right way in asking their audience what they thought and respecting the response. But the question may be, did they shy away too quickly without finding a middle ground that could work for all? We and our artists and audiences may need to accept that the landscape has changed. As Australian festival director and broadcaster Marcus Westbury says, we live in an age of continuous partial attention. Maybe that's a bad thing, or maybe it just is. I will leave you with more of his thought-provoking words. In an age of fragmented attention spans and continuous multitasking, perhaps the question is not how can performers demand the full attention of their audiences, but how can performers adapt to the reality that they will no longer be able to expect it. Thank you.